Imagine standing in Whitechapel on a bone-chilling winter night, where gas lamps flicker like fading hope. Around you, filthy cobblestones glisten with cold dust and mud. Guttural cries echoed down narrow alleys. Somewhere, not far off, a woman's scream splits the silence. This was Victorian London's East End, a place where hunger, violence, and survival dance in the shadows. Tonight, we peel back the grime and gaslight to reveal the story behind the darkness and why its tragedies still resonate today. Industrial might was booming, but prosperity was not for all. In the 19th century, London's population exploded, from 1 million in 1800 to nearly 7 million by 1900. The East End was a pressure valve. Entire families lived in squalid one-room tenements, with as many as 6 people crammed into spaces barely large enough to turn around. Open sewers, filthy water, and rampant disease were daily killers. Cholera, tuberculosis, and typhus spread like wildfire through overcrowded alleys. In places like Whitechapel, death was commonplace. More than 1 in 5 children would not survive past the age of 5. The average lifespan for a laborer was just 19 years. But despair needed fuel and gin supplied it. Gin was cheap, plentiful, and often lethal. Advertised as a penny for a drink, 2 for a drunk, it trapped the vulnerable in cycles of addiction. Many gin shops sold industrial ethanol mixed with turpentine and sulfuric acid. Gin became known not just as a poison, it literally was poison. The famous print by William Hogarth, Gin Lane, captured the destruction, a drunken mother dropping her child, while around her, chaos consumed the neighborhood. This was not fiction. It was everyday life in the East End. Life was particularly brutal for women. Many fled rural poverty or Irish famine only to find themselves stranded in the unforgiving streets of London, with no work or support. Countless women turned to sex work as the only option for survival. Prostitution was rampant, with women lining alleyways and lodging houses across Whitechapel. Some were as young as 12. One such woman was Mary Kelly, a 25-year-old Irish immigrant. She had fled famine and despair in her homeland, only to find herself battling hunger and fear in the East End. Her life was a tragic reminder of how vulnerable women were in this harsh environment. Then came the year 1888, when fear turned into horror. Jack the Ripper's killings shocked the world and forced Victorian society to confront the conditions it had long ignored. His victims, Annie Chapman, Elizabeth Stride, Mary Jane Kelly, and others, were prostitutes, women forgotten by society. Their bodies were found in dark alleys, mutilated in ways too gruesome for the newspapers to fully describe. The crimes turned Whitechapel into a place of nightmares, and London police into the center of ridicule for their inability to catch the killer. No fingerprints, no modern forensics, only panic, suspicion, and hysteria. Yet the Ripper murders were only the most sensational part of the East End story. Behind the headlines, everyday suffering continued. But out of the darkness, flickers of light began to shine. Reformers and charities took root. William and Catherine Booth founded the Salvation Army in the East End in 1878, offering soup, shelter, and salvation to the poor. Dr. Thomas Barnardo opened children's homes, rescuing thousands of orphans from the streets with his promise that no destitute child would ever be turned away. Public baths, known as people's palaces, were built to provide the poor with a chance at cleanliness and dignity. For many, these institutions offered the only glimpse of hope in an otherwise brutal existence. And despite crushing poverty, the East End was never only misery. It was also resilience. Communities of immigrants, particularly Jews fleeing persecution in Eastern Europe, created vibrant neighborhoods with synagogues, schools, and shops. Cockney culture thrived in the music halls, with songs, jokes, and theater bringing moments of laughter to people's lives. Families found joy in simple traditions, street markets, pie and mash shops, and rhyming slang. Even in the shadow of poverty, there was spirit, humor, and survival. The East End story is more than a chapter of misery. It is a reminder what inequality can breed and how communities resist, adapt, and fight back. Today, echoes of Victorian London still linger in modern cities. Poverty, addiction, exploitation, and inequality are not relics of the past. They exist in different forms all around us. And just like then, They are often ignored until tragedy forces them into the spotlight. So stand with me again on that grim Whitechapel corner. We have seen hope sink beneath soot and sorrow, but we have also seen sparks of compassion that lit the darkness. The question is, what can we learn? Where do we see the East End of Victorian London in our world today? Share your thoughts in the comments below. Because history is not just about the past. It is a mirror to our present. And if you believe these stories matter, if you believe the forgotten voices of history should still be heard, then please like this video, subscribe to Daily Curio Hub, and hit the bell so you never miss an episode. Together, we can make sure the shadows of the past light the way to a more just future.